Somebody gonna go down on this stool over here. Just so you know.
Okay. You want to get the chair?
It's still no. It's okay. I'm just telling you. It's doing the hokey pokey.
Oh my.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. That's not good.
And it's getting worse.
That's crazy.
So just.
I don't sit over there. I'll knee on that chair. You know?
Oh, okay. This is true. Yeah.
Ooh, this thing is really tripping. Oh my gosh. Come on. Peace, peace, peace over everything. Yes, indeed. Be more intentional about that over bills, finances, connections, relationships, jobs, whatever your source of income, whatever artistry you're into, whatever legislation you support, peace over everything. Nutrition, your rest. I can go on and on and on, but because we are at the top of 2026, we're being very, very intentional in having Dr. in the house. Dr. Leatrice Brooks, y'all, is in the house. And peace also, for me, means what she'll be talking about today, and that's clarity, bringing in the new year with clarity, with intention, and being present, full presence in 2026. Y'all, if you don't have your note-taking devices out the old way, the pen and paper, the pencil and paper, please do so. Get that. Gather your friends, your family, your neighbors, what have you, and listen to this. You'll be reminded of some things and introduced to new concepts. Just tune in. We want this community to be healthier, okay? And we can find health when we intentionally seek it. All right, so without further ado, we are going to get into conversation and interview with the one, the only Dr. Leatrice Brooks with Chosen PLLC, y'all.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. Happy New Year.
Oh, same to you. Happy New Year. And let me just start off by this. This whole holiday season, it was weird for me. Okay. You know, didn't feel like holiday. But, you know, in some spaces I kind of adjusted and I flowed with it, you know, but it still didn't feel like that. What's more important to me now is what we're going to be talking about, and that's clarity. Yeah. That's intention. Yes. You know, that's being present in the moment. Yes. And in this moment, I'm being very present and saying it didn't feel like holiday to me. Yes. But I'm focusing on me. Yes. For clarity. Yes. So, what are we gonna do with that, Doc?
Yes. So, you know, it's interesting that, you know, okay, so you're talking about intention.
So Double A is intentional with songs that she plays for whatever her announcements are and whatever she's doing. Because I sure wrote down the chorus to that. So I did, because I was like, that absolutely relates to what we're talking about today, which is I choose peace over everything. And what does that look like?
Yes.
All right.
Come on.
And so we're going to get into today talking about something that I have branded as Your Presence Plays. But let me do a little bit of an introduction around Presence Plays. All right. So over the holiday, I had the opportunity to have a conversation with somebody that I know, but I don't know.
Okay.
And so our discussion got a little deeper. And after a while, she looks at me and she says, "You really like change." And I paused for a minute and I thought, and I responded with, "I really like to be better." And that requires change.
Yeah.
Right? If I want to be better, I have to change. And so most of the time when this idea of us changing comes up, what do we say? Or we say, "I don't like change. I'm uncomfortable with change," or "I'm afraid of change," or "I know this already and I feel safe in this," right? And we're afraid to change.
And it's too easy.
Right?
To fall into that. Yes.
It is. But here's the thing. We're afraid to change when it comes to our own personal development. But this idea of being afraid of change is not true.
Yeah.
Why? Because we change other stuff all the time and we don't say, "I'm afraid of change," right? You get a new car because the new one is better. Right? You ain't hesitating on that. What do? Right? Look, you figure out how to make it happen.
Absolutely.
Why? Because you believe that something better is there, right? And she just held up her phone. If y'all hopped on Facebook early, y'all would have heard her talking about how trash her phone is, right? She like, "I got to get a new one. I got to get a new one."
Yeah.
Why? Because the change, getting a new one is going to be better. So therefore, I'm going to do the necessary work. I'm going to do the necessary exploration to figure out how to get there. Because we will Google some stuff in a minute. You going to call your mama, your cousin, your sister, your best friend, whoever, and you going to ask them for their input about it. What are your thoughts about this? You find a way to make it happen. We are not afraid of change.
Come on.
We're not.
That's good.
But we piece out this one area of our life when it comes to personal development, and we don't change there, and then we wonder why we keep having the same issues over and over again, because these other things that we are changing externally do not impact you internally. You might feel good for a minute because you got a new car and that feels good, but at the end of the day, the holiday didn't feel like holiday with the new car.
There
right?
There it is.
Right?
All you got is a bill now.
Because, look, but you welcome that change.
Okay.
You're going to figure out how to pay that note, right?
Right.
But at the end, we're not afraid of change, but we segment things out when it comes to this personal development. And
Don't
that's
touch
the
my
part
scab.
that we, look,
Don't touch my scab.
don't touch
It's
it.
gonna hurt. The stuff under it is not healed, and I know it. Just leave the scab alone.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Wow.
And so so last year I told y'all that my presence place was people, and so I'm aware some people might have been like, how the heck she gonna be a whole psychologist and and she be feeling some type of way because people be peopling. Look, you know why? Because I have a passion for growth and development. And it's hard for me to watch people not grow. So when I say the people be peopling, people are doing things and allowing things and engaging in certain kinds of behaviors that they don't have to. If they would just welcome this, I can be better, right? So in therapy, I'm used to people show up because they want to be better. And it's in a sense they give me a permission to say the things that are necessary to help them to be better. But it's painful, it is. When I tell you it is painful, it hurts my heart to watch people not be better when I know that you can be, right? Any other person, when you think about kids, we real quick to say something to a kid.
Sure enough.
You bring it home, C's and D's. You can get B's, A's, and B's. You figure out whatever resource you need. Look, who the resource is. Look, I worked at a school for a year. And look, parents went off because their kids were not getting better because they didn't see change in the child. But you are just a bigger child. We said that before, right? You just grew up. So all of a sudden, you don't have to change. We don't have to change.
Change is necessary.
And be better.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. We really have to reframe it in our mind as, I am getting better. I'm not just changing because I don't have anything better to do with my life. You really don't have an option, right?
That's it.
If you want to continue to grow, if you want something different for yourself, if you want something better for yourself, you have to change.
Absolutely.
You have to.
You got to. You can't, no way around it, you know, especially when you're thinking about getting better.
Yes.
Wanting more, wanting different.
So then when we go back to that song that you played right before this, I choose peace over everything. Guess what? If you choosing peace, because she was talking about leaving some things behind, guess what?
Yes.
That's change in order to be better.
Absolutely is.
Right? In order to have that peace, right? So even if you say, you know, actually my word couple few years ago was perfect peace. Because why? Because I recognized that I was having emotional ups and downs every time something looked different than how I wanted it to be or how I thought it was supposed to go. And I was like, I am not about this roller coaster life.
It's good that you recognized it.
I did, which is actually the first step.
Okay.
That's the first step, is recognized, right? And so these steps that I'm giving you are actually part of what's on my website, on my speaking website, drleatrice.com, called... Right now it's called the Presence Formula, but I'm probably going to rebrand it and name it something else. But I'm throwing a couple things out there with a colleague of mine. But right now it's called the Presence Formula. And the first step when you think about presence is I got to recognize what the heck is happening. How am I showing up in the world or experiencing the world that I want to be different for me?
Okay.
How am I experiencing things and I want it to be different, right? So, for example, last year when I said the people were people, and I'll tell y'all what my phrase is for this year. So it can be a word or a short phrase that we think about. But the first step to figuring out your presence place is I need to recognize what is happening. So pause for a minute and do some looking back to the past year. What happened over the past year? That I didn't like. I want to be different. I want to do this. I want something new for 2026. A lot of times, and presence place is very different for me from this idea of a New Year's resolution. Because most of the time, the New Year's resolutions are not, they are not personally focused.
Come on.
They're usually on this external stuff. Like, I want to be in a gym. Well, guess what? That's still something that I'm working on, but it's not my presence plays. Why? Because that has nothing to do with my personal development and growth. That's physical health. And yes, that's going to help me, but at the end of the day, I can have great physical health and still be miserable. I know we all know some people like that.
Be miserable, nasty,
look,
dark.
Look, you look amazing, and you are not happy.
Person, right?
Right? You don't have no peace, but you look good. Right?
Yeah.
So we're not talking about New Year's resolutions. We are talking about, here is a word or a short phrase that sums up or identifies some area that I have recognized that I need to move on this. Because if I don't, it's not going, I'm not going to have the kind of year that I say that I want to have, right? Because every year, this my year. Every year, this my year. And then you get to the end of the year, and what do you hear? Man, 2025 did it to me. What? Like, I
me up.
Look, right?
Tore me down.
Right? But what happened? Because even if I get to the end of the year, even when I think about all the things that happened last year, when I look at presence place, I promise you, I grew from where I was at the beginning of the year with people to where I was at the end of the year, right? Here's the thing, too, is the reason why we do presence place for a whole year is because we really want to, one, extract all of the learning that we can out of that. Whatever that topic is, whatever that word is, we want to extract all the learning that we want to out of it. And we also want to build healthy habits so that this new way of being is something that we do automatically and I don't have to think about it. Because you ever try to, like, even when we think about, you know, things that are New Year's resolutions, I go to the gym where I don't feel like going to the gym today, or I do it for a month, but then next month I fell off or whatever. You need a whole year to devote to this one thing So you can legit just be a new person and you don't have to worry about that anymore. Right?
Yeah, and how would one do that? You know, that's why I don't do New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
That in itself is already a stressor.
Yeah.
Trying to stick with something that you normally haven't done
Yes.
on a regular basis.
Yes.
So what do we do? How do we maintain? How do we sustain that? You know?
Yeah. So the first step is I want to recognize what the heck is happening for me and that I need a change. And then the second step is to reset.
Yes.
Second step is to reset. And reset is where you come up with a plan. What is my step one? What is my immediate next step to getting me towards the goal? Right? Because a lot of times what we do is we try to bite off way more than what we can chew.
True.
We trying to do way too much at one time. Okay? So say, you know, health is your goal. Then you may say, okay, I'm going to go to the gym 3 days a week and I'm going to eat better. I'm going to cook at home. Okay, but you eat out every single day. You ain't cooked in 3 years. Okay. You barely even get off the couch talking about you going to go 3 days. Like, no. Start in one place, right? When I first started going to the gym, I would go to one class 1 day a week. I'm like, let me start there, right? And then by the end of the year, I was going, I think, 2 or 3 times a week. I built up to that place, and now I go to the gym twice a week, and I got a trainer, and I'm cooking more. Okay. And, like, I'm doing all the things. Steps. Exactly. So when you think about, I have a whole year in this presence place to better my own development. We want to do our development in small stages, right? Yes. So when you talked about earlier about having a scab with things, we think we gonna rip the whole thing off and then we just gonna be bleeding and oozing all over the place. Versus I'm gonna address this a little bit at a time. And when you think, and it's not like, oh, I got a whole year to do this. No, you gonna kick it in high gear for the whole year and just keep working on it, because these steps that I'm teaching you, you're gonna actually do them on repeat. Yeah. Right? So I'm recognizing today, then I'm gonna reset, then I'm gonna do the next 2 steps, and then I'm gonna do the whole thing over again. Yes. And I'm going to do it on repeat throughout the entire year. So even if I get this one step better, then there is still more to do to help me towards the goal. Right. So I'm going to repeat the steps. I'm going to recognize where I am right now, and then I'm going to go through, right? Yes. I'm going to go through the steps in the process again. So we're going to do it on repeat. But the first one is I need to recognize. The second step is reset. What is my plan? What's the immediate next step that I need to take in order to get to where it is that I'm trying to go? So let me tell y'all what my phrase is for this year, right? So it can be a word or a short phrase. Okay. So it's a word, but I had to put it in phrase format to help me be better and help me to recognize that I have some ownership in how this goes down. Gotcha. All right. Yeah. So it actually builds off of my word from last year, which was people. So my phrase for this year is be the remedy.
Be the remedy.
Be the remedy. So I could have just said remedy, but I'm like, no, I need some action to it to help me to recognize that I am personally responsible being the remedy. And so for me, so I recognize like, okay, yeah, I made a change when it comes to people, but I'm still not exactly where I want to be just yet, because remember, I told you there's that part of me that is passionate about growth and development. And guess what being the remedy taps into? Ooh, growth and development. Hello. I said, okay, now is getting me closer to purpose. And so that definitely is a motivator for me. So I'm thinking about being the remedy. So that's what I recognize. Like, yeah, I made some progress with people, but I need to take it another step, being the remedy. And so my reset plan in terms of where I'm starting is, one, understanding that for me, there's a relationship to purpose with that, but that I don't have to, because here's the part that's painful, for me to see people not growing and just sit there in it and have to look at it.
Yes. Oh my
I'm
God.
like, I cannot. I cannot, because this could be so much better, right? And it's not to say that I'm out here forcing things on people, but if I stop with this idea of, if I start with, okay, I can be the remedy is there something that I can do to encourage, to get this to move along a little bit faster? How can I add value? If I'm the remedy, how can I add value to this person in a way that helps them, and as a side note, it relieves my pain of having to watch it be the same. But here's the other thing that being the remedy does, is being the remedy gets me out of my thoughts, feelings, and emotions.
Okay.
Because it keeps me on this path with people of not feeling some type of way about how somebody else is showing up. It keeps me out of, why are we? Because here's the thing. We are all impacted by other people when they don't change and grow. We are. And I'm sitting here, and that's why I'm feeling some type of way, because you taking me with you through the foolishness. I don't want to go. I do not want to go. And I need this to be different, right? For my sake and for yours. Now, maybe, right? But I get stuck in my feelings about, I got to go through this with you. But if I look at being the remedy, then I'm going to say, okay, look, if we do this little bitty piece differently, or I inform you about this, then that's going to make me feel a little bit better about it. Then I can, endure, okay? I can have some long suffering, Jesus, okay? Because I'm just like, what? But it's being the remedy. Here's the thing. What is my role in this?
Come on. Yes.
That's my own personal development. It's not to say that I'm trying to change other people, but even to say that I am trying to influence somebody else to be better if they can be.
Yeah.
Why would I not do that? Make that make sense?
Please make it make sense.
Because people sometimes be like, they be in their feelings something about, well, he trying to change me. She trying to change you. Well, do you need it? Is it helpful? Is it helpful for you? Right? And here's the thing. When we recognize that we need to change, it's actually easier for us to accept somebody else helping us along the way. Right? Yeah. So when I first started going to the gym, I didn't start off with a trainer. I actually got a trainer because a friend of mine wanted to get a trainer. And I was like, oh, okay. She was like, let's do this together. And I was like, oh, okay. Yep, let's do it. And but when I first got the trainer, I was having a conversation with my pastor. And I think we were talking about health. In some sort of way, I ended up telling him that I had a trainer. And the first thing out of his mouth was, so is she challenging you? I was like, well, dang, I'm just excited. I got the trainer. He's like, are you going to be different?
I'm empowered by saying that. I have a trainer.
Right? He's like, are you? Exactly. Right? I was like, okay, this is a great first step. He said, no, is she challenging you? Right? Are you going to be different? Are you going to be better? Are you going to change as a result of this relationship that you have with this trainer? Right? Like, we should be better. And I said, actually, she does. And you know what's funny? So my trainer is amazing. And I'm not just saying this because she's a lot like me. But it's funny because there are some ways in which we are similar. And she does to me what I do to other people. And I just have to laugh.
That's good. Yeah.
I just have to laugh. So here's what'll happen. One day I told her, this was like a few months ago, I said, okay, so I want to get up to exercising 10 hours a month. That's my goal, 10 hours a month, right? Okay. To me, that's a big deal because remember, a few years ago, I started at 0, okay? So I was like, 10 hours a month is great. I think at the time that I told her that I was averaging about 7.5 hours a month. And so I said with this huge smile, I was like, yeah, so, all right, I got a new goal. I'm going to do 10 hours a month. And she just looked at me with this real blank face. And I was like, what? She was like, 30 minutes a day. And I'm over here mathing in my head. And I was like, that's 15 hours a month. That's a whole, what? 5 more hours than what? I was excited about the 10. But she was like, 30 minutes a day. She didn't say 15. 30 minutes a day. Yeah. And I said, okay, and I just laughed, and I thought about it in this way, because there are times, again, I'll be really excited about these goals, And she does me like I do other people. And I thought about it. I'm like, here I am excited about this. And she's challenging me. She's pushing me to grow in a way that she knows is going to be in my best interest. And it's going to help me in the long run. And sometimes with other people, I know I be getting on their nerves because they be out here excited about the little piece of change they made. And I'm like, okay, but what about that?
My bubble.
Look, I'm like, dang, you know, because sometimes people will say, and I'm just being honest, y'all know me. People be like, well, you not ever happy with anything. Well, it's not that I'm not happy about it. I feel great about it. And it can be better.
Indeed.
And it can be better, right? Because here's the other thing that I've noticed about in working with my trainer. As she pushes me in ways that I didn't know I needed to be pushed, over time, my desire changes.
Yes.
To meet her expectations about what I should be doing. And that feels amazing.
And we're back. As we are getting ready to wind up with Dr. Brooks, guess what? We're going to go and ask her to do a quick recap of the R's, okay? And definitely we started off with recognize and reset. We're going to go through that a little bit. And she's going to give her contact information. And yes, she will be back in the house. We're on schedule, y'all. We're on schedule. It may be a little bit different for February, but it's okay because adjustments are already in the works, okay? So with that being said, let's get back into it, Doc, with a wrap up, a recap, if you will.
Yes. So these last two steps. So first step is recognize. Second step is reset. The third one is to refresh. And here's refresh. So when I make a plan, when I make a reset plan, there are certain outcomes that I'm expecting to get. So refresh is I'm actually going to do the new thing. I'm going to engage in the new behavior. I'm going to change to this new thought process. And I'm looking for certain kinds of outcomes with that, right? So if I say, okay, I want to go to the gym, increase going to the gym, then, or let me not use that because we're talking about presence, place, and personal development. So if I say that mine is be the remedy, then I'm expecting certain results if I am the remedy. I'm expecting for how I feel in conversations to change. I'm expecting for my perspective in conversations to change. And I'm going to actually refresh and do the thing that I said that I was going to do. And then once I do that, the fourth step is to reflect. So after I've done it, after I've had a new interaction with somebody, I'm going to reflect and look back. Did I get the results that I say I was going to get?
Okay.
Did I actually execute the reset plan? Did I get the refresh results that I said that I was going to get? I'm going to reflect back. And based on what I come up with when I reflect back, I'm actually going to then go back and recognize where's this new place that I'm at. As it relates to present place. Where am I at now? What is my next step in terms of my plan, my reset plan, right? And we're just going to keep doing that on repeat. And when you do that on repeat throughout the year, you find yourself in a different place.
Yes.
Because when I recognize the second time around, I'm coming from a different perspective or a different position than I was when I did it the first time. Because ideally, I have moved.
Yep.
And if I have not moved, I now at least have more information because I'm reflecting. I'm like, well, why didn't I move? Why didn't I feel the way that I thought? Exactly, right? So, for example, I had someone come in and we were doing some parenting stuff. I gave her a recommendation. She came back. She said, well, I did what you said and it didn't work. I said, okay, tell me what happened, right? So I said, let's reflect back. Tell me what you did. She told me what she did. I said, yeah, nope, that's not quite what I said to do. We had to refine it. We had to, exactly. We had to recognize again, like, nope, here's where we are. Yeah, you did this part right, but you didn't get the results because you didn't do this. So we recognize that, hey, we missed this piece, and then we go through it again. A new plan, we refresh, we reflect back again until we get the actual results that we want to have.
Absolutely.
So that is how you develop your presence, place, and that's actually how you move through it throughout the course of the year. So recognize what you want to be different for yourself this year personally, in your own personal development, internally, and then you're going to create a reset plan. You're going to refresh and actually do the things that you said you would do. And this helps you to be more present, and then you're going to reflect back after you do it and see where am I at now, and then just go through the cycle again. Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with repeating things, especially till it gets down in your spirit.
Right.
Where it comes naturally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so you just do this on repeat all the time. And that's how you consistently get better.
Yeah.
That's also how you learn to stop being afraid of change.
And I just want to add this note. Yes, Dr. Brooks used the analogy, if you will, of going to the gym. That can be applied to anything in your life. Okay, so don't just stop there. For those who are like on the edge, maybe I do need to change, and then use any little excuse not to.
No.
You can use it and apply it to every area of your life.
And you really want to hone in. And for me, Presence Place is about personal growth and development. How do I want to be better as a person? Not this other stuff that internally, how do I want to show up better? It could be something like, I want to stop popping off on folks all the time. I want to stop. I know that I am very facially animated. And one day, recently, somebody told me, yeah, when I said that, your face twitched just a little bit. And I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know, right? It's how do you want to, and it communicated something to her. And then I got to clarify what was coming up for me and all, right? So it's how do I personally want to be better so that I can get closer to showing up in the world the way that I say that I want to.
Yeah.
Because all these things that, it just slipped out. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, but you also didn't mean to not do it, because we didn't, to your word, intentionally, we didn't intentionally try not to.
There it is.
Right? But if I have a plan, if I know this is the thing that I'm focusing on doing differently, then it increases the likelihood that we will actually execute in the way that we said that we wanted to.
There it is.
Because people have told me, actually, because I will share what my Presence Place is, and people will say, yeah, this is different about you. I have noticed this change. And then that becomes encouraging. And don't feel free to tell other people. Don't be afraid to do that so that they can hold you accountable too.
Right.
To make sure.
Absolutely. Just make sure it's the right people,
Yeah.
and that they're sincere and intentional about your progress.
Yeah.
You got to have the right ones.
Absolutely.
Ooh, indeed.
Yes.
Indeed.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Doc.
So, and then as per usual, we give a plug for Chosen PLLC, which is mental health services. So here's the other thing when it comes to change. You don't have to do it by yourself. That's what therapy is for, is because I don't want to just have to jump into all of this by myself. I got somebody who's going to take me through the steps and then help me to move, and I don't have to hold the weight of it alone.
Somebody will journey with you.
Absolutely. That's what therapy is. I know this scab needs to heal, but I can't rip it off. I need something. I recently had, what is it called? They took some skin off. They took some skin off. And here's what they said. They said, keep applying ointment. They actually told me, don't let it scab. Because scabs create a scar. Right? Because you out here letting it get some air. They said it don't need no air. Keep it moisturized. Therapy keeps moisture on the wound. It helps you to keep addressing the wound, right? If somebody gets burned, they change out the dressing all the time. Why? Because it needs it to heal. That's what therapy does. It changes out the dressing. We continually looking at what is happening on the surface, underneath the surface. We're assessing it. We're helping you to know, yes, you're going in the right direction. This is working. We make recommendations. We do all the things with you so that you're not doing it alone, and then it feels more bearable. So if you need a therapist, and this is the time, look, it's New Year's resolution time.
Top of the year.
Top of the year. Everybody like, I need some help. Yep, we got help. We got help at Chosen PLLC. Our number is 232-5389. We are right here in Kalamazoo. We also do virtual therapy throughout the state of Michigan because we're licensed in Michigan. So
Wonderful.
connect with one of our therapists. We will help you get you together in whatever way that looks like for you, so that you can be the best version of yourself that you possibly can. Not just for other people, because a lot of times that is a motivator, but for you, so that you can feel good and you can be confident and you can impact the world in whatever way that you were created to do that.
Absolutely. And like I say, sometimes you do have to use your yesterdays to become a better star player, and that's yourself.
Yep.
Indeed.
Yes.
Well, again, I want to thank you so much. We will work out the return of Dr. Brooks for the start of the continuance of this year. This was the first Saturday. As you know, regular schedule is first Saturdays of every month. So definitely tune in, and sometimes you maybe even give a call, ask a question, those types of things. And I'll keep you posted on her return, because February, like I said, will be a little bit different. But nonetheless, thank you so much, Dr. Leatrice Brooks, the Chosen PLLC. Have a beautiful, beautiful weekend.
You as well. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And with that being said, we are going to turn to the music.